Today at 4 p.m., our patrol officers responded to an armed person with a machete call at the Beach's Branch Library, which serves as an early voting precinct at the beach. The units arrived and found 8 young males, 7 of which were juveniles and 1 adult male. The group was there for no other reason but for ill intentions to cause a disturbance. This is not an incident of solely a First Amendment protected right, but rather one where they were simply there to cause a ruckus. That then escalated to the point where the sole adult male of the group, Caleb James Williams, he's 18 years of age, of Neptune Beach, brandished a machete in an aggressive, threatening posture over his head. We have a picture of that will disperse to the media as well. Mr. Williams decided to brandish that machete over his head at 2 female victims, ages 71 and 54 years of age, which were in fear at that point, had called the police, and we arrived less than 1 minute later. Mr. Williams was arrested for aggravated assault on person 65 years of age or older and improper exhibition of a firearm or dangerous weapon.
I just want to share my experience with you in North Carolina at my early voter station. So I pulled up and there's a couple stands outside and one of them was calling me over. It was 4 elderly men. I didn't know, again, like I've never voted here before. I'm from California, didn't know. So they're calling me over saying, "Are you here to vote?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Okay, right this way." So I'm standing there and they were like asking me for my ID. It seemed like I was supposed to like check in with them there. So they're going through, they asked for my ID. They wanted to see if I had my voter registration card with me, which I did. I was pulling them all out and they said, okay. And they were looking at them and they were like, great. So here is your sample ballot. And all of a sudden I looked at the one man's hat and it had a Trump sign on his hat. And I'm looking at the other men's and there's no sign of trumping anywhere other than this guy's hat. And then he says, here's your sample ballot. Just make sure that you vote for everything that's circled on this ballot. And I'm looking at the ballot and every single one was the Republican candidate, including Donald Trump for president. And then at the top it said conservative sample ballot. And then it hit me. This is not where I was supposed to be. So what did I do? I immediately, took his little piece of paper, shredded it in front of their face, laughed in their face, and then said, actually, I'm not a conservative. I don't need this. Thank you. I'm a woman. I know who I'm voting for. As I'm walking away to go stand in line, these men, 4 men, start harassing me, telling me I need Jesus, telling me that I won't have the right to vote in this country unless I start bearing children. And then they start telling me the worst of all, I hope you bear your child, whether it's at your will or not. They start like literally yelling this at me as I'm standing in line.
Last night at about 6:30, almost 6:30, at one of the polling sites, a couple entered the polling place, and the man of the couple was wearing a hat that supported a political candidate. He was advised by the early voting clerk that he was not allowed to wear that hat while voting, because it goes against the laws of electioneering. The man complied, but he did take it off. He did comply and voted. On his way out of the polling site, though, it appears that he put the hat back on and while still in the building. The early voting clerk then informed him that that was unacceptable and then began to escort the person out. The suspect appeared to throw an arm back toward the victim. The victim was, I couldn't tell from what I saw if it connected. But then the victim seemed to push off of the suspect at that point. The suspect then turned and threw several punches right at the face of the victim. The victim in the case is an elderly man, 69 years of age, doing his job. He's an early voting clerk. The deputies then at that point brought the suspect downtown. He was questioned and then he ended up being booked for injury to an elderly person, which is a felony charge.
Bitch.
Oh, wow.
That's no reason? Yeah, all that, sir.
Wow.
This is my motherfucking right.
Wow.
Why is it defending you? It's like defending. All right, then shut the hell up and let me vote.
Okay, Jamie. Okay, we ain't got nothing else to say. We ain't got nothing else to say.
Wow.
Next thing,
Okay, what? There it is right there.
no.
Wow. Oh, wow. God. Oh. Wow. 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 Wow.
This South Carolina man tossed expletives around while refusing to remove his Let's Go Brandon hat inside a polling location in Orangeburg. After being told he had to follow the law or not vote, he threw his hat off and proceeded to poke one of the poll workers in the face, resulting in that fight.